Hello everybody, I hope you are doing well. Today we're gonna talk about no CO2 aquarium and how to keep it. So this video is for beginners, for those people who are interested in aquarium hobby, and I just wanted to record this in order to guide them properly, because there are so many different pieces of information and this can be a little bit confusing. So I made this very generalized video, and today's part, as I've already said, is about plants. Many beginners think that the only way to achieve great results in plant growth is to go with injected CO2 system. And it is true that CO2 gives you the best possible results in it and reduces problems to a minimum. But the main difference is in the way you want the plants grow. Using CO2 makes plants grow differently. They get thicker, bushier, more compact, if you will. So if you want your plants, for example glossostigma, to have this kind of thick carpet look, you undoubtedly need CO2 for that purpose. However, CO2 can be rather costly system and not very beginner friendly, because you always have to keep in mind how to keep this balance between the oxygen incoming into aquarium and CO2 at the same time, so that you have this kind of stable running ecosystem in your aquarium. There are actually many directions you can go with your aquarium hobby, and one of them is using no CO2 in your aquarium. I cannot say it's exactly a very beginner friendly method, because on the contrary, running aquarium without CO2 presents more challenges for the fish keeper and more maintenance is required. Plants are basically more prone to accumulate algae because they grow at a slower rate, and actually algae has more time to take over their place in aquarium ecosystem. This is the reason why it is so important to know what plants are better to be used in a no CO2 environment. So if you decided to go with aquarium with no CO2, you have to know what plants to choose. These plants include plants that grow quickly without artificial injection of carbon dioxide, and these include Vallisneria, Hygrophila siamensis, Hygrophila deformis, Limnophila, hornwort, Elodia, duckweed, floaters like Salvinia. So there are even carpeting plants that do not require necessarily CO2 injection, like Sagittaria and Hydrocotyle tripartita. The problem with such plants is that most of them do not look that appealing compared to classic aquascape-centered plants like Ludwigia, Alternanthera, Rotala. So you have to always trim these plants, trim them back to keep a picture of your scape once a week or even more often, in order to achieve this beautiful aquascape picture if you want to go with it. On the other hand, these plants grow very quickly and they help you in filtering your aquarium water, removing excessive nutrients, organics, nitrates, nitrites, and even ammonia. This is especially important with a no CO2 system, where achieving a proper cycle can be rather difficult. Some stem plants that are classically used in a CO2 based environment, like certain types of Ludwigia, Rotala, Monte Carlo, even Glossostigma, can also grow without CO2, but their growth will be slower and it may differ in form. For instance, Glossostigma, it will tend to grow taller rather than low and compact. And by the way, one additional but last but not least important aspect is many epiphyte plants that are so important in creating beautiful aquascapes do not require CO2 as well, much of it. These are different species of anubias, species of ferns. However, they are slow growers and they prefer low lighting, which means to carefully adjust their position in aquarium and the amount of light they receive during the day. So general tips for your first planted no CO2 aquascape will be: first, choose proper plants in the beginning that grow quickly and do not require CO2 injection. The second, plant as many plants densely as possible in your aquarium, especially at early stages, to help in filtering your water and prevent problems like algae bloom. And the third one, if you want your aquarium to look like nice and neat aquascape, proper aquascape, try to trim these plants regularly. So this was a very short and generalized guide to plant selection in a no CO2 aquarium based on the many years of experience of many famous aquarists. And if you would like to get involved in aquarium hobby and advanced in aquascaping, you need to do more research, and by choosing proper plants you can reach nice results with no problem at the very beginning. So good luck to you, and I wish this will be a success for you. Thank you very much for watching once again. Big shout out to all the channels that actually helped me in aquascaping and fish keeping. Overall, I will leave the link in the description of this video, all the channels that I used to watch, and they will be also helpful to you guys. Thank you very much for watching once again. Stay tuned, hopefully there will be more videos to come. So see you next time then.